Hi there. I hope everyone is staying safe and staying well during our quarantine time. So I think this is the second or third part of our reading, chapter 5, section 4 reading. And we are going to do this next question here that says, based on the events in 1775 and early 1776, how successful do you think Patriot forces will be in the early months of the war? Well, if you did or if you at least started the project for the Revolutionary War game, you could probably take what you learned from that game to make this prediction right here. But before I start to look for an answer, I'm going to go ahead and get started with just writing the answer. So it says, based on the events in 1775 and early 1776, how successful do you think the Patriot forces will be in the early months of the war? So I'm going to say in the early months of the war, I think that the Patriots forces will we could just start off with that. And then I'm just going to go up here and start reading here. Washington reached Boston in July 1775, a few weeks after the Battle of Bunker Hill. While he found the size of the military growing every day, Washington realized that the members lacked discipline. Alright, so members lacked discipline. That's important information. Organization and leadership. They lack that, and that's something that you need to have when you are in the military. He began the hard work shaping these armed civilians and army. So they were already pretty much in the war. Well, I can't say they were in the war because it was 1775, but they already were on a losing streak. So by March 1776, Washington judged the Continental Army ready to fight. He positioned the army in a semicircle around Boston and gave the order for its cannons to bombard the British forces. The Redcoats under Sir William Howe hurriedly withdrew from the city. Alright, so it says the Redcoats withdrew from the city. And then on March 17th, Washington led his jubilant, that means happy, troops into Boston, and the British troops sailed to Halifax, Nova Scotia. Okay. So, oh shoot. There we go. So they ran the British soldiers away. So let's say will be very successful based on the information that we read. In the war, or I'm gonna say fighting the British. Okay, so I can cite some textual information that makes me think this. There's a lot of textual evidence that makes me think that they're going to be successful. So he realized that the members lacked discipline, so he began the hard work of shaping the armed civilians into an army. So he trained them, he trained the army, and then the redcoats under Sir William Howe hurriedly withdrew from the city. So that's an event that looks like they were going to be successful. And then it says the word that they used right here, jubilant. It says Washington led his jubilant troops into Boston. Okay, and then the British troops sailed to Halifax, Nova Scotia. I mean, you could use any one of those as your citation. So I'm going to let you choose, but whatever it is that you choose, you need to be able to explain it. And when you explain things, you don't just give me the least amount of words that you can figure out to explain it. You have to tell me how this happened or why you think this or something like that. So say if you chose the redcoats under Sir William Howe hurriedly withdrew from the city. If you chose that, you would explain it like this means that the redcoats were somehow defeated by the Patriots and they left the city. Or if you chose Washington led his jubilant troops into Boston, you could say this means that the troops had been successful in driving the redcoats out of the city. Or you could say that he began the hard work. If you cited, he began the hard work of shaping these armed civilians into an army. You could say this means that Washington was hopeful that training his troops would lead to victory in the war. So you could use any of those things. So I'm just going to leave this part for you. And then down here, you're just going to put all this stuff up here. You're going to put that down there. This is important for you to do. A lot of people have been skipping this part, but I'm grading this part. This part is you actually putting everything together and making it make sense in an actual paragraph. So I'm grading this part right here. And if you miss this part, you miss a lot. So I think that is it for now.